Hello my dear students, welcome to CMI's online classes. In today's class, in this video for the students of standard 9, we will continue with the same chapter, the tenses. As we are continuing with the chapter, the tenses, and in our previous video we have already started the perfect continuous tenses, and from perfect continuous tenses in our previous video we have already understood the uses of the present perfect continuous tense and its different sentence structures. So in this video we will continue with another classification of the perfect continuous tenses, that is the past perfect continuous tense. So in this video we will study about the uses of the past perfect continuous tense as well as the different sentence structures in the past perfect continuous tense. We have already understood the structure of different form of sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. In the same way, in the past perfect continuous tense also we will understand today in this video. And we have also understood the structure of sentences as a whole in the perfect continuous tenses. But in this video we will focus particularly in the past perfect continuous tense in today's video. Okay. So at first, like we understood the structure of affirmative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense, here we will understand the structure of affirmative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense also. So here let us have a look what is the structure of affirmative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. So subject plus from the group of to have verbs used as the main helping verbs, we take had here. Had is taken from the group of to have verbs in the past perfect continuous tense, whether the subject is singular or plural. Whether the subject is singular or plural, we use had in the past perfect continuous tense as the main helping verbs. After had we will take been, the B3 form of the verb, the group of to be verbs. After that we use B4 form of the verbs, that is the present participle form of the verbs, and then comes the rest of the sentence. That means as a whole, subject plus had plus been plus B4 plus rest of the sentence is the structure of affirmative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. Okay. Now we will understand what are the uses of the past perfect continuous tense. Let us have a look. So the past perfect continuous tense is used to refer an action that was happening continuously in the past before the another action. So the action that was continuously taking place before the another action took place in the past. In the past, such kind of actions are expressed in the past perfect continuous tense. So simply ऐसा काम जो कंटिन्यूसली बीता हुआ समय में हो रहा हो किसी दूसरा एक्शन का होने से पहले, सो ऐसे एक्शंस को हम पास्ट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूस टेंस में एक्सप्रेस करेंगे. एंड हियर वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द ऑर्डर ऑफ टेंसेस ऑल्सो. सी हियर, whenever we write the sentences in the past perfect continuous tense, if it follows the another actions in the past, then the another action is expressed in the simple past tense. Whether we put the sentence, the expression of action in the simple past tense first or at the later part of the sentence, but if you read the sentences written in the past perfect continuous tense, the first action which was affected by the another action is expressed in the past perfect continuous tense. Okay, so at first we will see the uses of the past perfect continuous tense. I hope you have understood the sentence structures in the affirmative form. Now let us have a look towards the uses of the past perfect continuous tense. The past perfect continuous tense is used, number one, to talk about an action that started at a definite time in the past and continued up to that point and was in progress at that moment or had very recently finished. So ऐसा काम जो बीता हुआ समय में दूसरा एक्शन का होने से पहले या किसी समय में कंटिन्यूसली हो रहा हो, ओके, या तो उस समय वो प्रोग्रेस में हो, दैट मीन्स कंटिन्यूसली हैपनिंग हो, या उस समय जस्ट फिनिश्ड हुआ हो, ऐसे कामों को भी हम पास्ट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूस टेंस में एक्सप्रेस करेंगे. लाइक वी हैव एग्जांपल्स हियर. Rohan was upset when he met us because it had been raining all day and he had missed his football practice. So this is the first example which tells us about the action in the past perfect continuous tense. So if you see this sentence has been formed by many clauses, okay, like Rohan was upset when he met us, okay, because it had been raining all day, like it had been raining all day. He had missed his football practice. So here what we see is which part of the sentence is written in the past perfect continuous tense is it had been raining all day. Okay. So here the past perfect continuous tense either carries the sentences in simple past or the past perfect. Okay. So this is the order of tenses. Okay. Like the past perfect continuous tense either carry the other sentences in the past simple past or the past perfect. Okay. So now the another action that we express with the past perfect continuous tense is to talk about an action that was happening in the past before another action or before a specific point of time in the past. So बीता हुआ समय में किसी समय से पहले या तो किसी एक्शन का होने से पहले अगर कोई काम कंटिन्यूसली हो रहा हो, ऐसे कामों को भी हम पास्ट परफेक्ट कंटिन्यूस टेंस में एक्सप्रेस करेंगे. लाइक उमा हैड बीन लर्निंग भारतनाट्यम फॉर 8 years when she gave her first public performance. So here before giving her for performance, it was her continuously 8-year practice of Bharatnatyam. Okay, so I hope you have understood. Now the next action to express in the past perfect continuous tense is to introduce the second part of the action. For example, किसी भी action का second part को express करने के लिए we will use the past perfect continuous tense. Like he had been sleeping in peace when there was a power cut. Okay. So at first there was a power cut, and then at first there was a power cut. Okay, but before that he had been sleeping in peace. Now see here. I hope you have understood the explanation about the uses of the past perfect continuous tense. Now we will move ahead with the structure of different forms of sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. At first we will have a look at the affirmative structure. That means how do we write affirmative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. I have told you this structure in the beginning of this video also. That means subject plus had plus been plus before plus rest of the sentence. Okay, I've explained you about the use of been in the previous video when I was making the video on the present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so here I have taken the same examples that I have given while I was explaining the uses of the past perfect continuous tense. This is, he had been sleeping in peace when there was a power cut. So subject plus had plus been plus before. This is the main sentence structure in the past perfect continuous tense. Subject plus had plus been plus before. In peace when there was a power cut. This is the rest of the sentence. Okay, and we can also understand the another action has been taken place here. Okay, so here this is the affirmative structure of the sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. Now we will understand the structure of negative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. So let us have a look. So negative sentences means sentences having no or not. Okay, so here negative sentences, the structure of negative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense is subject plus had plus not plus been. So like we used not in the present perfect continuous tense, here also we have to use not after had and before the B3 form of the verb been. B3 form of the verb be, been. Okay, so subject plus had plus not plus been plus before plus rest of the sentence is the correct sentence structure of negative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. Like, he had not been sleeping in peace when there was a power cut. So subject plus had plus not plus been plus before plus rest of the sentence. This is the negative sentence in the past perfect continuous tense. Now we will move to interrogative sentences, but positive. Positive interrogative sentences. The structure of positive interrogative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. So here we are framing interrogative sentences by using the helping verbs, and here in the past perfect continuous tense had is used as the helping verb. Okay, so when we frame interrogative sentences or question sentences by using helping verbs are used at the beginning of the sentences. So here also we use had at the beginning of the sentences and subject comes in between the helping verb and the main verb. Okay, but here we have to use been before the main verb also, and subject comes between the had and been. Okay, like, had he been sleeping in peace when there was a power cut? This is the positive interrogative sentence in the past perfect continuous tense. Had plus subject plus been plus before plus rest of the sentence. Okay, I hope you have understood. Now let us move to the negative interrogative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense. So here negative again means the sentences having no or not, and here also, like we did in the present perfect continuous tense, the negative sentences in negative interrogative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense, here in past perfect continuous tense, negative sentences in past perfect continuous tense also we use not after the subject and before the B3 form of the verb be, been. Okay, so had he not been sleeping in peace where there was a power cut? So this is the negative interrogative sentence in the past perfect continuous tense. Okay, subject had plus subject plus not plus been plus before plus rest of the sentence. This is the negative interrogative sentence in the past perfect continuous tense. Okay students, I hope you have understood the uses of the past perfect continuous tense, the kinds of actions that we express in the past perfect continuous tense, and the different sentence structures when we write sentences in the past perfect continuous tense, and how to transform the affirmative sentences in the past perfect continuous tense into negative and interrogative sentences. Interrogative, both positive and negative. Okay, so I hope you have understood this process as I have explained here. So, but still if you have any kind of doubts regarding the explanation, kindly raise your questions during the class period. But for now, this much for today's class, this much for today's video. I hope you have understood well. Okay, thank you for being the part of my today's class, today's video. If you have any kind of doubts, kindly raise your doubts and clear your concept. It is very much important to clear your concept. Still you don't keep your concept, it will be mingled up with other tenses also. because since we have started this chapter tenses, we have completed all, most of the classification of tenses. Like we have left with only the last classification of the past perfect continuous tense, that is the future perfect continuous tense, that we will complete in the next video. After that we complete the whole chapter, the tenses, with its complete with their complete classification. Okay, so don't get confused with the use of verb forms in all other classification of tenses. Okay, you have to practice a lot and daily. Okay, thank you so much, my dear students. Kindly keep your doubts in your class period, okay, so that during our examination period no one faces any kind of problems during the with the questions that comes regarding the tenses. Okay students, thank you so much.